Let's talk about Haiti.
I just wanna speak the name of Jesus.
18 years old, in a cast and a sling and with a stuffed bunny, I traveled to one of the most dangerous countries in the world. Yep, that's me. But we gotta start at the very beginning. And before I start the story, I just wanna say, this is nothing to brag about myself. God gets all the glory. God gets all the glory. There is a quote that says, every moment of my life I was absolutely terrified, and that was me. This is all God's story. I was just a vessel that said, use me, God, and I don't want any credit. I don't want any praise. I don't want any admiration. It all goes to God. I could not have done any of this on my own. But let's start the story, and let's start from the beginning. So months before I was ever invited to go to Haiti, a mentor of mine invited me to Bible study. I went to Bible study with her, and at the end, they asked if they could pray over me. They did, and while I was leaving, a woman came up to me and said, I had a vision while we were praying. Side note, if anyone ever comes to you and tells you they had a vision from God, a word from God, or a dream from God about you, you need to be discerning. You need to keep it in the back of your mind, but you need to go to God with it in prayer and ask Him personally. He will answer you, and He will guide you and direct you. Don't just take somebody's word for it, especially somebody who you don't know super well. So I prayed about it a lot, and months after that encounter, I, through a mutual friend, met a woman by the name of Lori. Long story short, Lori runs the orphanage that I ended up staying at, and she invited me to spend the summer there. My parents were not on board at first. It took months of convincing because their 17-year-old daughter was asking them if she could fly to one of the most dangerous countries in the world and the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. I ended up saying yes, and we booked my flight. My flight was booked for 2 days after my senior dance recital. So I graduated high school. A week later was my senior dance recital. I go to my senior dance recital, I'm doing my senior solo, and I fall on stage. I have never in my life fallen on stage, and I have danced my entire life. I have never fallen. And all I remember is seeing the curtain close, seeing my dance teacher run over to me, and then it just kind of went fuzzy and black. I don't remember anything else. They get me off stage, I see my mom run back, and at this point I'm in so much pain, we know that my arm is broken. I had one more dance to perform, so we took a box that we had found, we cut the cardboard so that it would fold right into my arm, and we took a pair of old dance tights and tied them around my neck to make a sling, and I finished the showcase. And immediately after the showcase, my parents rushed me to the emergency room. I'm supposed to be in Haiti in 2 days, and now I'm in the emergency room with a broken arm. They confirmed the arm was broken, and by the grace of God, we got in to the orthopedics office the next day. The next day, we got to see the orthopedic, which never happens. I don't know if there was cancellation, I don't know what, but God opened up his schedule so I could see him. We go into the doctor's office, and side note, remember this part of the story. It's important. So we go into the doctor's office, and he's like, yes, your arm's broken. No, I can't cast you today. I'm supposed to be in Haiti like today. I'm hoping to go there tomorrow. And he's like, I can't cast you today. I need to see if your bone shifts. If your bone doesn't shift by next week, I will put a cast on you. If your bone does shift by next week, you have to have surgery, and if you have to have surgery, the trip's canceled. I will not clear you for that trip. What? So what do? We go and we book my flight like I'm going to Haiti the next week because I believe that that's where God's sending me. The next week we show up to the doctor's office healing perfectly. He casts me, and as he's walking out of the room, he says, it's good to be different in this world. Go make a difference. So the next day, I took my sling and my cast and my little stuffed bunny, and I got on a plane, and I flew by myself to Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and I've never been so scared in my entire life. I spent the next few weeks living in Haiti. When I was there was a drop-off day. Now, a lot of these girls are not true orphans, but they have been dropped off by parents who cannot properly keep them. And Marlene was one of them. She was 2 years old when she was dropped off at this orphanage. And for days, she would run to the gate where her parents left and scream for her mom and dad. And I would be the one that would go down and just hold her. And for hours, she would just cry in my arms until she fell asleep. Until she would just fall asleep. She would just cry herself to sleep. And this little girl stole my heart. She stole my heart. Still has a piece of it. Leaving her in Haiti was one of the hardest things to date that I have ever done in my life. It was one of the hardest goodbyes, one of the hardest things I have ever done. I also spent a lot of time with the older girls. We became very close friends during that time. They would braid my hair, they would try and teach me Creole, we would do each other's nails. I would do a Bible study with them, we would pray together, we would watch TV together, we'd hang out. And so just kind of being a friend to them was very important to me, and such a blessing to be able to have these girls as true friends throughout this entire experience. So I leave Haiti, I get my cast off, and I go to college. Now, 3 years later, I am captain of my college dance team. And I ended up slightly tearing my rotator cuff. So do I go see my old orthopedic doctor who casted me originally, ends up giving me a series of cortisol shots. At the same time, I'm planning another trip to Haiti. I'm planning on taking my college dance team and running a dance camp for the girls in the orphanage and local surrounding villages. Through a crazy sequence of events, for a variety of reasons, every single girl ends up dropping out of this trip besides me and one other girl. Here's the problem with that. Because everybody dropped out, we lacked the funding to be able to put on this camp, and the plan was to feed these girls and to give food for the local village girls to be able to take home to their families. We knew that there was going to be at least 100 girls at this dance camp, and without the other members of my team, we didn't have the funding to provide food for all of the girls.
Okay, real quick, I realized as I was editing the video that I never finished the story, and I think it's because my son woke up from his nap and I just kind of never came back to it. So I wanted to finish it really quickly. Merges seamlessly, but what ended up happening was that we did not have enough funds to be able to fully supply all the girls that we knew that were coming to the dance camp with food. We're like, all right, God, we're going to fundraise. We're going to try and figure this out. So that's on pause. At the same time, I'm having this rotator cuff issue, so I'm going into my doctor regularly to get cortisol shots. At one of my cortisol shots, my doctor says, hey, by the way, do you have any other trips coming up? And I was like, yeah, actually, I am going back to Haiti. And I kind of told him, I'm running a dance camp, the whole spiel. And he was like, do you do support letters? And I said, yeah, I do. And he said, would you be willing to send me one? And so I sent him a support letter. And wouldn't you know that in the mail came a check for the exact amount of the balance we had left. The exact amount he sent me. And it was like over $3,000. My doctor sent me over $3,000 so that I could go to Haiti and tell people about Jesus. The doctor that I met, because I broke my arm before the first time I could go to Haiti, he caught me to Haiti the first time, and then he was able to bless me the second time. If that's not God's hand and timing in something, I don't know what is. So we ended up going, we had 2 sessions of dance camps, one in the morning and one in the afternoon because they were so full, and we served over 100 girls. We got to praise with them, we got to worship with them, we got to tell them about Jesus, and we got to dance with them, and then we got to bless them with food. And it was such an amazing experience. So how cool is that story? I mean, come on, church, get hyped when things like this happen. To this day, God's hand and God's timing and God's provision for that to happen years apart is astounding to me. I can just see God's hand all throughout that. And a lot of people ask me, oh, are you mad that your senior solo was ruined? Are you bummed about your senior solo? No, because if that wouldn't have happened, all the pieces wouldn't have fallen in place so perfectly. So no, I see God's hand in all of it. Let's go back to my living room. Bye.
The third and final time I went to Haiti was for a wedding. It was one of the most fun experiences of my life. So one of the girls who had grown up in the orphanage then began to work in the orphanage, and she got married and invited me to her wedding, and I was so honored. You don't know the celebration and the party that we had for her in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, in an orphanage, celebrating that this girl who grew up in this orphanage found the love of her life and got married. And we are bringing the house down at the orphanage that she grew up in. She got married in the chapel at the orphanage she grew up in. And we are just celebration, the party. I can't even explain to you the atmosphere in that room. I cannot even explain to you. She had 33 little sisters who could not be more excited for her. The most generous, most giving, most kind, most loving, and full of joy and grace and love and faith and hope. And it was the most fun. I'm telling you, we were hyped. And I've been to American weddings. They don't compare I can't compete. I'm so honored that she invited me. Now, I'm assuming that the reason that you clicked on this video is because you know that Haiti is a very dangerous place to go to. And I think that if that's all you know about Haiti, we are doing such a disservice to the Haitian people because they are so much more than that. I think the spirit of Haiti is one of strength. They are fighters, they are survivors, they are strong, strong people. And yes, there's a lot of sadness and despair in Haiti, but there's also a lot of joy and a lot of hope in Haiti. And I think that if you don't see that holistically, you're doing a disservice to those people. I think it's also important to see the art and the culture. Haiti's culture, art, and music is astounding. It has been recognized and acclaimed throughout the world. And I want to be honest that my reason for sharing this story is to highlight the organization that is so near and dear to my heart that I worked with. As Christians, we believe we are all part of God's family. And it is so important to understand and to know what others are doing for His kingdom around the globe, to support one another, to feel community with one another, and to pray for one another. So I'm not sharing a story to tell you about me. I'm speaking of my experience to tell you about them. So I think it'd be a disservice not to explain how Haiti got here in the first place. So Haiti was originally occupied by Spanish influence, and then it switched over to French. The French realized that there was a ton of money to be made in Haiti by the exportation of coffee and sugar. To have those exports, obviously there was a very dark side to Haiti, because to have those type of exports, 90% of Haiti's population at the time were enslaved people. Throughout years and years and years of rebellion and fighting for liberation, in 1804, Haiti claimed independence from France. However, things weren't just simple after that. Haiti was the first ever slave rebellion that was successful and led to independence. And that scared a lot of nations around the world. And because of that, places like Great Britain, the United States, who all owned slaves, would not acknowledge Haiti's independence. France then forced Haiti to pay retributions after they claimed independence, which put Haiti in complete financial ruin. Haiti then went through a long period of political, financial, and even social distress as the upper class was so far above the lower class. In 1915, the United States gets involved, and they begin to occupy Haiti, and they're there until 1934. And even after that, the United States has a huge influence on their economy and on their finances. After that, there was a string of military coups, different people seizing power, rebellions, and eventually, 1957, an authoritative dictator regime takes over. And the United States actually ends up backing this regime, because at this time the Cold War was going on. And the thing was this dictator, though not great and though pretty bad for the Haitian people, he was not a communist. He was actually pretty anti-communism. And because of that, and the fear of communism spreading across the world, the United States showed support. After his reign, a second dictator takes over, and that lasts until that collapse in 1986. After that, a democracy is tried to be put in place, but it was never stable. In 1990, the first Haitian president was elected, and by 1991, that had collapsed by a military revolt. Then in 1994, Bill Clinton sent American soldiers in to try and restore order, and Haiti saw that as another attack from foreign nations getting involved with their domestic affairs. The first president was then established back to power. Then in 2004, a controversial event happened. There was another revolt, and the presidency fell again. Now, interestingly, that president said that the United States was behind that revolt and behind the uprising of the people that caused another state of political unrest. Say adamantly denies any involvement in this, but honestly, I don't know. There's corruption in all governments, let's be honest. Then in 2010, there is the earthquake that completely devastated the country.
This morning I want to extend to the people of Haiti the deep condolences and unwavering support of the American people following yesterday's terrible earthquake. We are just now beginning to learn the extent of the devastation, but the reports and images that we've seen, our thoughts and prayers.
Many countries, including the United States, sent aid and relief efforts over to the country, but there's a lot of question on where that money went and who exactly got the relief efforts. Anyways, In 2010, there was this horrible earthquake. In 2013, I was there and nothing looked like it had been rebuilt. There were still tent towns where you just drove and all you saw were people living in these like FEMA tents that had just been there for years, dirty and old and ripped and torn. Parts of the city were still crumbled. Buildings still looked as though they did the day after. You could just, the feeling of that earthquake was still palpable in the air. It devastated the nation. In a country that had been crippled financially since the start of its independence, this was just another economic struggle for them. They were never able to recover in any way. In 2021, the president was assassinated and gangs took over, and it has been complete anarchy and lawlessness. In that chaos, there is a beautiful beacon of hope, a light. Greater Works Home for Girls is where I stayed, it's where I lived, and the organization is so near and dear to my heart. And so that's what I want to share with you guys today. I can speak to their faithfulness. I can speak to their ability to steward what God has given them. Greater Works Home for Girls was established in 1984, a group from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is where I'm originally from. So they have been serving the mission of God in Haiti for decades. This home has been in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Port-au-Prince is the capital of Haiti, and it's often where a lot of crime does occur. So this has truly been a safe haven for these girls. Currently, there are 33 girls in the home between the ages of 2 and 20. Now, most of these girls are not true orphans, some are, but most have been abandoned by parents who had to make the most difficult, most beautiful choice that they could make for their child. By parents that are living in tents, in villages that are controlled by gangs, parents who are struggling economically and are unable to take proper care of these children. And so they drop them off at a place where they know they will be fed and clothed, educated, and taught about Jesus. But they do have a school that's attached to the home, so they are receiving an education. There's also a church that's attached to the home. So it's like a big compound. There's walls. The girls don't have to leave the safety of the home to go to school or to go to church. It's all within the walls of the compound. One thing I so respect Greater Works Home for Girls is not take Americans and transplant them to Haiti. They took Haitian people, trained them, discipled them, and gave them jobs. So it is Haitian people serving Haitian people. I think in the United States we get the savior complex, the American savior complex. And what I appreciate that Greater Works did is they empowered Haitian people to serve Haitian people, fulfill these jobs, and to be put into roles of leadership, to speak life into these kids, and I think that's so powerful. I'm simply asking for you to become a prayer partner, to pray for this organization that is so close to my heart, and I believe so close to God's heart. My hope is that you see the Haitian people as strong, as fighters, as brave, as courageous, as people with astounding hope, astounding joy, and contagious faith. That you see the beauty of Haiti. There is so much beauty in the nature, in the culture, and in the people. It's so important to just cover them in prayer. So asking for nothing else other than you becoming a prayer partner, and for you to watch the stories, follow along, and see the joy and the love and the goodness that's going on in an organization in Haiti that has my heart. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll be praying.